What is up, guys? It's another day here at RFG on SPPTV. We're going to be working on the S10 some more today, getting some stuff done. But first, we got some parts came in for the S10 and for some other vehicles. So we're going to open her up and show you what we got. Alright, so what we got here is a bunch of bags of air. But it's better than packing peanuts, that's for sure. It's like a wiggly snake. We got this.
An LS guy wouldn't know what that is.
No.
That's for a Gen 1 LS, otherwise known as a small block Ford.
And then we got some of these.
This is the cap adapt with the adjustable rotor, so you can get your phasing right.
And then we got this cap. This is for Clayton's Mustang. So that means it's actually going to be running this year. You'll actually get to see it.
Is it running right now?
Running is one thing, but being out on the street or the track is a totally different thing. Here's my fan. So I'm hoping this is going to work. It's really thin and the price is right. Let's hope it works.
How much was that?
55 bucks. And then, what you guys have been waiting for, the muffler. So this is what I went with, Dynomaxx Ultra Flow muffler. It's actually the same one that I have on my car. On my car I have two of them.
Wow, look at that race bullet.
I mean, I'd like to stick with Flowmasters. I really like the sound, but everyone says the chambered muffler is no good for turbos.
I got a Dynomaxx on my car, a single, and it sounds really good.
Yeah, so
quiet enough, but you can still, it still sounds good.
this is stainless steel, so it won't rust. It was 65 bucks or something American. Pretty good deal. All right, so that's the unboxing. Now we're gonna get to work on the truck, and maybe we'll get this muffler installed and the fan, and who knows what else we'll get into today. But let's get to it. Alright, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is put this fan in today. It actually looks pretty good. I test fitted in there and it actually fits perfect. So it's going to be exactly what I needed. On the ad, it showed these stupid things, which I hate, which I obviously don't want to use. But then it also came with these and the shorter ones. And so these just fit into here like this, and then you can bolt it on. So when I put it in there before, to give it a quick test fit, it looks like these are going to fit perfect on the top. I got to cut this top hole off, and then it's going to fit right in there, and then just drill a hole and bolt it on, and that'll be that. And then I think maybe at the bottom either I'll use the short ones, or I might have to make some little L brackets that'll bolt to this and then to the bottom of the rad support. I'm going to cut these and then test fit it again. So I'll do that now. I cut them down, as you can see. Just smoothed it off. These just fit in here like this. Like that. And then this just goes in. Oh, looks like I still gotta cut them more. Almost fits, but not quite. I cut them down some more. I actually had to take this raised area off of there too. And so now it fits perfect. I could turn it the other way because it's actually got these flat spots on the fan here. So if I was to turn it this way, you know, it actually would fit. Like there's more clearance because I think it's actually a little longer this way than it is this way. But then it would be harder to put these little tabs on. So I am going to go this way. Like that. I also put it 4 inches, this is 8 inches, this is 16, so 4 inches here, 4 inches here, so it's kind of centered because I got to drill holes and I'm going to have to put 2 more bolts here so that it looks a little nicer. Mark those, and then drill them and bolt them and then figure the bottom out. Okay, so I bolted it in, 2 bolts, 1 on each side here. I'm probably going to go back after and shorten all these bolts. But anyways, so those are in. And then down below what I got to do is I have to take this one, grind this off, like this, and then cut it down, and then add a hole, extra hole, a different hole, because there's not a lot of clearance down there. So I turn this into this, and then I got to make a little aluminum or metal little L bracket, which will bolt to this, and then that L bracket will bolt to the rad support on the bottom, and then that'll be done. That'll hold it in. So I'm going to make the little L brackets, and then I'll bolt it in there. I have these tabs on the top. And then what I did is I made tabs like this. I used that plastic piece that slides in, just some aluminum which I bent, and so it fits in just like this. nice and tight. And then now once I get it in there, I'll drill through the rad support through these and then put a bolt on each end, and that'll be that. This will be mounted. And then I'll just have to do the wiring, and the fan will be good. And that's it, it's in. Like I said, I'll just have to go under there and drill a couple holes for those lower brackets, and it should be good to go. I took the exhaust off the truck, the piece I had already made right here. So my plan is to take this bend, I'm going to cut the straight piece off of here, I'm going to weld it to here, make this longer, and then I'm going to put the muffler on right here, and then I'm going to use part of this bend to make it turn down, and that'll be the whole exhaust, and that will pretty much go right to the rear end. I have to get up the chop saw and cut this up, and then weld them together. So that's what we're going to do now. I definitely need to buy a new cutoff wheel blade. But there it is, cut off. Alright, so I got both pieces cleaned, and now I'm just going to TIG weld this together, and then we'll get on the muffler end of it. Clayton's making noise in the background. Alright, so now that that's welded on, I fit the muffler on here, try to get it nice and level where I want it, and get so the Dynamaxx is there so you can see it nice. Now I'm going to TIG weld this on, and then I just got to make that turn down, and we'll have an exhaust system.
Looks like something off of Cummins diesel or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
You should stack it
Be
up.
chooching in no time.
Alright, so I got the muffler welded on, tagged up here. So the last piece I got to put on is this, which I'm obviously going to cut it down, unless I want to have it go this way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw it in the truck again, and then fit this and figure out, I think I'm going to cut it here, but I want to fit it in there first, make sure it's going to fit good, and then I'll be able to cut that and weld that in, and the exhaust should be pretty much done. I'll have to make a hanger probably back here, hopefully utilizing the original S10 mount at the back, but I got to do that still. So yeah, so I'm going to throw this in now. Alright, there you can see the exhaust. So once I put that turn down, it'll be almost at the rear end, which I think is pretty good. It's a little bit higher than that lowest part there, so it won't drag on the ground, just kind of like the gas tank is. And so now I'll get that little piece of turn down and try fitting that in there and figure where that's going to go. Alright, so the exhaust is off now. There is the turn down cut, and now I just have to weld it on, and then I still want to make a hanger to go kind of from here up to the frame, but that'll have to be done once this is all welded up and back on the truck. So I'm going to do that now. Here's the complete exhaust. You can see the turn down there pretty much at the end of at the rear end. And so all I got to still do is add that hanger, but I'm going to add a hanger when I do the rear end, because then I'll be back there and I'll be able to weld it on the vehicle to get it where I want it. Let's move on to something else. All right, so now the exhaust is done.
Stop recording.
All right, so now the exhaust is done. Moving on to something else. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys remember from previous videos, on the driver's side, the coil close to the power brake booster, it was kind of tight here. Like there is clearance here, but it is a little tight when you put the boot on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these nubs that the coil pack bolts to, and I'm just going to grind them down. If you see, there's actually a little edge in there, so I can easily remove that edge. It's tapped like way down inside here, so I can grind these down, but I got to be careful not to go too low. I can go as low as these ones. I mean, I could also grind these ones down, but I don't want to go too low. I just want to give it a little bit extra cushion so that that wire doesn't hit. And then after I do that, then I have to make a mount for my fuel pressure regulator, and so I'm going to do that too. So I'm going to grind these down, and then we'll test fit and see how it works. All right, you can see how I just grinded all of those down. So I went a little past that step, and then I also noticed that on the back side of the coil bracket here, there was kind of like a raised portion that fit into these two to locate the coil pack, I guess. So you have to grind that off too. So that's good now. And now I'm gonna start working on that fuel pressure regulator bracket. I got this rigged up here. I just used one of the shit-horse cylinder heads bolted to my intake. And then there's the fuel pressure regulator. I figured it'd be easier than trying to do it in the truck with the power brake booster there. I'm mounting the regulator like this. And yeah, I did some reading and everyone says you can mount the fuel pressure regulator upside down, sideways, doesn't really matter. This is kind of how I have to do it, so I think it should be fine. This is the bracket that comes with it. What I need to do is go from here down to this bolt, something to just hold it in place. Otherwise it just flops around here, which is no good. I'm gonna try bending this and maybe getting it to reach here, or else I'll have to make up something. Tried bending up that stock bracket. Didn't really work well, so I ended up making some out of a piece of aluminum. So this is kind of what I came up with here. This little bracket that holds it nice and sturdy. And then here's the return line, feed. It also came with a gauge to put on top, which will go right here. And then just have to hook up a vacuum port, which I'm gonna run to the back of the intake. And yeah, so that's done. All right, so I finally got it in there. Actually, I ended up running into an issue. The way I had it mounted sideways like that, it wasn't going to work because the 90s -690 and the -890 wouldn't clear. So this is what I ended up with, which is probably better that it's pointing upwards. So now I got the -8 feed is there. This is the -6 return. As you can see, there's lots of room. The vacuum port, which is going to go back there. And then I use the same bracket. I ended up just modifying it to make it work. I had to slightly bend this fuel rail a tiny bit. But it's all in there. It fits, there's clearance. I can still get at this. The only thing is the gauge, you'll never be able to see, so I'm gonna have to get a little 90 or something to put on here to be able to turn it. Probably gonna eventually put like an interior gauge or under the scoop gauge or something, outside fuel pressure gauge, so I can actually pay attention to the fuel pressure. But for right now, it came with the gauge, so I'm just going to use it. But who knows, before I have it on the road, I might end up ordering a gauge for it. That's going to be it for this video today. Next time, we'll hopefully get some more stuff done on the fuel system. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll check you later.
No more.